Dun, 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 dun. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. What's up, party people in the house?
What up, though?
Welcome to It's Live, one of the sexiest voices in the SFL,
Mr. Master.
Dave Axis. What's up, party people of the SFL? What's going on? What's going on this Thursday night? How you guys doing? I'm seeing lots of party people in the chat already. Looks like maybe one or two names I don't even recognize, so that'll be good to go through when we see the party people here. Oh my God, am I muted? I was muted, bro. What's up, party people? I could have sworn I hit that button. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hey, can you hear me now? Anyway, what's up? What's cracking? What's going on this Thursday night? Good to see everybody in the chat. See lots of party people. Will Todd jumping on things already, subscribing at Tier 1 for 6 months. Atta boy. I'll get to the party people in the chat in a second, but welcome to Season 16, Episode 32, which also happens to be overall Access Live Episode 94. As we creep a little bit closer to show 100, which I have some information about at the end of the show tonight. Welcome to the show. My name is Dave Axis. I'm your host. I'm the one that's always here every night doing this stuff. The only person that has been here as much as me almost has only missed one show. Will be missing his second show tonight. Gunny will not be with us, but we do have someone to fill in to give us Gunny's pearls of wisdom via someone else. We've got a great panel tonight, as always. We'll be doing our Season 16 wrap-up, our SFL Minor League Week 5 previews. Those games will be Tuesday night, by the way. I'll mention that again later. We have mystery guest number 10 tonight. We have any guesses yet on who mystery guest number 10 could be? I'd be interested to see who it is. Our Diva of the Week winner, who you already all know is Kramer Jackman, will be here later to accept his award and do pick'ems with us. I finally have the updated playoff fantasy football results that I'll share with those with you at the end of the show as well. And then if we have time and if there's anything to talk about, hey, we'll knock out some Access After Dark. We haven't actually done that in a couple shows, so we will see what happens. Let's see. Ethan Kai says Dwayne is my pick. Well, we'll see. But let's first check out all the rest of the party people real quick, see who is in his house tonight. There is Charles. That's what she said. Freddie's here. Tyler Falk, the amazingly perfect Pink Lisa's in the house. Nate Hall and Kendra Hall, both back-to-back. Twin Screws here again. Look at that. Frank the Franchise Wade. Roberto's back. Tony, good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. Bullet Boletsky's here. As always, I see Jesus Dust. I don't know who you are, but, oh, you're new here. Well, welcome to the show, bro. Appreciate it. Soviet Sniper's back. Haven't seen you in a minute. Bob Funk, as always, is here as well. Will Todd, who I mentioned earlier. J-Rock Madison is back. Ron Cochran's in the house. Big Dog 44. Ray, you going to have lyrics? Are we going to do the Marines hymn? And are you going to do the lyrics for Gunny's Substitute? I wonder if we should or if we shouldn't. I think we should. Rainbow Fox 2 is back with us. Good to see you, bro. Chad's in the house. Who else we got here? James Walters 87. Dion Hawkins is back. I haven't seen you in a minute either, bro. Good to see you tonight. Ethan Kai, like I mentioned. Dwayne's back. Art Vandalay. AJ, what's up, AJ? Haven't seen you in a minute. Answer your DMs, bro. I know, sweetie. I'm sorry. I'll get to them tonight. Tuesdays and Thursdays are tough. As I get ready for the show, I don't really answer a lot of stuff. I will check out my DMs after the show. Who else we got here? Anybody else? Any other party people? Did I miss somebody? Nighthawks24 jumping in. Doug Britton, what's up? Doug Great Britain, Mr. Clean Sheet himself is here. Good to see you, bro. And I think that's probably about all I see right now. Still quite a few of you. Glad to see you as always. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Love all you guys. Let's check out our panel. The first guy, other than me and Gunny, I'm pretty sure this guy's been here the second most out of everybody, and you guys know who he is. Everybody knows who he is. He is the one and only Frank the Franchise Wade. Frank, what's up? Welcome back. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. We got a search party out for Gunny. We're checking all the gas stations in Atlanta.
You know he's still searching for gas, bro.
That's it.
Do we dare call him a gas sniper? What? I don't know. Maybe. That might happen. We'll see. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Glad to see that you made it through your storms pretty well.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it, bro. In the unfiltered circle tonight, someone who wasn't with us for the first half of the season, but he's really made up for it in the second half of the season, being here quite a bit. He's a regular on the show, part of this what we call the Sweet 16 here. He is a I think the last time he was on the show, we announced that he was a free agent. It might have been 2 times ago he was here. But he is Mr. Nate Hall. Nate, what's up? What's going on? What'd you eat for dinner tonight, bro?
I made some chicken fries that were in the freezer because she had a late day at work, so I fended for myself.
Okay.
But made up for it afterwards with some French fries from B-Dubs.
Oh, some B-Dub fries.
So
All right.
yeah, so
You should have saved those to eat them during the show, bro.
I polished them off already. Now I'm trying to wash them down with some Coke Zero.
There you go.
Sponsored by for the show.
Attaboy. All right. Thanks for being here. Welcome back, man.
You know it.
All right. In the unedited circle tonight is, gosh, I don't even know what to say about this guy anymore. Let me tell you something about this guy. We all think that he does his best work when he's drunk. He certainly did it the night that we picked our team that I'm hoping won for the fantasy football. And every time he comes on the show, whether he's drunk or whether he's sober, he still does a great job, and he's the man. He's the GM of London. Chad Rowland, what's up?
Dave, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, bro. Are you sober tonight?
Oh yeah. I'm sober tonight. We're not making that mistake again.
Well, how's that a mistake? If we win fantasy football, then that's a great night, right?
Yeah, I mean you got a point there, but yeah, no, that was too much.
Yeah,
I can
no.
for 4 hours tomorrow, so no, I'm good.
All right, that's all right. One of these times, I need to get everybody that likes to drink on the show together, and everybody gets hammered, and then we'll do an after dark on that. What do you think about that?
There you go.
All right.
Maybe the worst dark idea you've ever had.
Hey, you. All right, real quick, everybody. Oh, Eddie Gage just jumped in the house. Eddie, good to see you. Let me see who else might have jumped in while we're introducing. Zach Holdorf is here. Good to see you, buddy. That might be the only two. Oh, and Axel Raven. I see Axel Raven jumped in as well. Before I get to mystery guest number 10, which I'll take guesses on here in a moment, we've got a couple of our crew. Because it's the season-ending show, and everybody's going to kind of give their wrap-up of Season 16, I asked the rest of our Sweet 16 panelists if any of them wanted to come on, and we just have them on voice. So first I want to welcome the Season 16's #1 draft pick, host of NETMA, Tyler Falk is here with us tonight. Tyler, what's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
Oh, Dave, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. This is a little bit of reminiscent of old school Axis.
Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Yeah, I know, bro. You know what? Sometimes I wonder if the non-video shows were better. Maybe people in the chat can tell. Do you guys like us having the cameras and the videos where you can see all our ugly mugs better? Or do you like it when you can't see us and you can only hear our voices? You know what's funny about that, too? Ethan Kaya, does that mean next season we'll have the Sweet 17? Maybe we could possibly do that. We'll shake it up again, I'm sure. I don't know. I kind of, you know, when you have the show and you don't see anybody's face, and then when you put the face to the voice, sometimes it doesn't always match up. So I don't know. That was a good question, though, Ethan. I'll have to think about that, buddy. Also with us on voice only tonight, you know, all you need to know about him is, unfortunately, we don't see him on camera in what room he'll be in tonight, and that's Mike All, the GM of Jacksonville. Mike, what's going on with you tonight, bro?
Hey, how's it going, Dave? I'm coming to you from an undisclosed location tonight, and I would just like you to know I spent all day not searching for gas.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Attaboy. Were you at work all day? Is that why?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to call it work, yeah, I was working.
Nice. Ethan thinks that you're in my bathroom.
Well,
are you streaming from my bathroom?
I can't disclose that.
That sounded like a weird question. All right, let's move on from that one. All right, let's see. I think that's all we got. Robert Garrett Jr. was going to be here. I had to bug out the last minute, so Robert, hope everything's good with you, bro. Let's go on to our unforgettable circle and our mystery guest number 10. Anybody got any guesses before I give a couple hints? I think I saw 1 or 2 guesses in there, but I wasn't sure what I saw. Hey, Yogi, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Glad you could sneak in real quick. Let me see. The video with the Matrix effects, you're muted, bro, and Kendra in the background is cool. Of course it is, Dwayne. Nobody has... Oh, somebody thinks Dwayne is the... Ethan thinks Dwayne is. That's right. No other guesses? All right, how about I say... Let me see. What's a good hint for this guy? How about Batman? Does anybody know who Batman is? No, it's not George Clooney. Don't get crazy. Not a big George Clooney fan anyway, but I guess if he wanted to be on my show, I could stoop to allowing him on, I guess. Somebody said Johnny. Somebody says Hacker. Somebody says actually Batman. Oh, Val Kilmer. There you go. That could be possible. Let me see who else here. Nelson again. Oh, wouldn't that be something? Nelson's alter ego, right? Not Batman. Let's see. The Voice. Christian Bale. All right, I'll give you one more hint, and I know he's actually not going to like this one, but I could. Village People. Village People is the other hint that I want to say. Somebody said Batman, Ray Bentley, Morgan Freeman, Ash. Oh my gosh, there's so many guesses and they're all wrong. They're all wrong. All right, so first of all, those who don't know the Batman, Winkler somebody said. For those of you who don't know the Batman hint, is back in the day when we were doing this show and before when we were doing voice chats and all you could hear were voices, this guy literally sounds like he should and could be the real live Batman. And then on top of that, I had to say the Village People because the Village People sing that song called In the Navy. And this guy, even though he just got out of the Navy, hey-yo, it is the one and only Mike Twin Screw. Mike, what's up? Welcome back to the show. It's been more than a hot minute, brother.
I don't know about the in the Navy part, but what's happening, SFL? What's happening, Dave? Thanks for having me.
Of course, bro. Welcome back. It's good to hear you. It's good to hear Batman's voice again. It's been a little too long, bro. Thanks for being here, man. All right, folks. Let's see. What should we do next? You guys want to talk some football? Oh, no, we can't talk football yet. I have some breaking news. Do you guys want to hear some breaking news? I would love to hear some breaking news. Yeah? Look at, there's breaking news. Breaking news is chat's going bye-bye. I swear to God, dude, if I do this show next season, I need a freaking, I need a producer, man. I got too many buttons to push. I got too much stuff to do. All right, breaking news on Axis Live. Is everybody ready for the breaking news? It does have to do with one of our SFL franchises. Yes, it does. If you guys remember, I believe it was in Swamp Talk, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking of Swamp Talk, real quick. Swamp Talk, the awards that they're doing, last day to vote for those is tomorrow. So make sure if you're going to vote on those, you get those done by, I guess I'm assuming it's midnight tomorrow night. The breaking news is all is coming out of my bathroom. Hey, yo. Here is the breaking news. And it's kind of like almost reverse breaking news technically, but you'll understand why in a moment. In the, I don't know, a couple issues ago of Swamp Talk, there was some talk about Queen City potentially being up for sale. Queen City has reached out to me and asked to let everyone know that for sure Queen City is not for sale. Queen City will not be sold. Eric Barkley will remain the owner, along with the team he's putting together over there. I think BJ is the new GM over there. You've got I forget who everybody that's over there. Hubba, I think, is over there. So just let you know, they wanted me to let you know Queen City is not for sale. So if you are a rookie or if you're a free agent even that was thinking about going there, or if you are a rookie that was wondering if I should go there because I'm unsure about the ownership situation, just know that it is not for sale. Current ownership will be staying as they're building the front office with BJ Loveless and Hubba and all those guys. All right, so there you go. And yes, Ethan Kai, Queen City is iconic. The only franchise with 4 championships, so it's good that Eric is sticking around, and that's all good to go. So there you go. All right, so breaking news is over. Now let's get down to some football. We don't have any SFL games. Those are all played out. We talked about on Tuesday the championship. It's already happened. It's gone. That's it. So I'm thinking that we should talk about SFL Minor League. We've got 4 games coming up. For those of you who weren't sure about the schedule, there will be no Friday Night Lights and there will be no Monday Night Football. These games will be next Tuesday night at their regular time. So Tuesday night will be the minor league game. So we're going to break those down tonight first. Then we'll go. Twin Screw's got some positional rankings for us. We'll have Gunny's Pearls of Wisdom with a fill-in, and then we will break down season 16 for everybody. So, Frank, week 5 coming up. Birmingham. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about them at this point. I don't know if it's too late to turn the ship around, or maybe going to Madison is what turns the ship around. What do you think about either one of those?
Well, something needs to be done. The ship needs to be turned around. It needs to be done now. Birmingham's going into Madison, looking for that first win. A season or two ago, this would have been a marquee matchup. Birmingham has been shut out twice this season so far. They've only scored 2 touchdowns in 4 games. They average just over 4 points a game. Yeah, you heard me right. Only 4 points a game. They give up almost 20 points a game. They're last in passing, second to last in rushing. I mean, you pick a category and they're probably last or second to last in it. This is not your typical fuel team that we've seen in the past. I know the faces have changed, but the talent level cannot be that dramatic. There is one bright spot for this team. They are first against the pass. Madison, however, is seen at 2-1. Their only loss came in a heartbreaker against San Jose when they scored a touchdown with no time on the clock. All of Madison's games have been close. They have been decided by 3 points or less. They average just over 24 points a game and give up almost 24 points a game. They're third in passing per game. They're fifth in rushing per game. Defensively, Madison is number 1 against the run, but they're 8th against the pass. Maybe that's something that Birmingham can take advantage of.
Maybe.
Eric Price is 7th in passing, has thrown 4 touchdowns. All 4 of those touchdowns have gone to my boy, Essex Dinabola. Yeah, that's my son. He leads the league in touchdown catches, and there's only 1 catch behind the leading receiver with 29. You're looking at a proud dad right here. Trey Finnick is 5th in rushing for Madison and has found the end zone twice. Birmingham has a linebacker, Garrett Hudson, that likes to find the football. He's 2nd in the league with tackles and 2nd in the league in tackles for loss with 7. This should be no contest, but crazy things happen in the minors. So, Madison should win this game, but never can tell what's going to happen.
You never can tell. There's going to be that one game that the real Birmingham shows up, and we're going to be like, it's about time. What took you so long? In the Jack's Data Power Rankings, Birmingham remains last. Obviously, they're 9th. Madison actually jumped up to 3, so it's a 9-3. Matchup on Tuesday night. Madison favored by 10.5 with an over-under of 36.5, and Madison with a 67% probability to win the game. We don't have any who you got yet. It's too early. It hasn't been posted since the game's pushed back to Tuesday, so we won't have those tonight, but we do have all of Jack's data to go by. So, Frank, thank you for that breakdown. Appreciate that. We move on to Game 2 on Tuesday. Memphis, who in this – Nate, I think this is the game of the week. Memphis is power ranked 4th, Lexington 5th. Both these teams score a lot of points. How do you think this one's going to go down?
I think it's going to be a close game, and I'm looking forward to seeing a close game. Both teams are coming off a loss last week. Looked like Memphis was going to come back on Madison, though, and they only lost by 2 points. If they could have put that last drive together, they had everything going their way. I think they should have probably pulled that one out. I think it's going to be a battle of the running backs. Lexington's running back, Bailey O'Shaughnessy, been playing out of her mind lately. She is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde, though, from week to week. She has 2 fumbles on the season, so she does have a problem with giving up football every now and again. But she makes up for it with scoring 5 rushing touchdowns on her 471 yards. And not only that, but they also like to use her through the air as well with an additional 176 receiving yards. So I think if Lexington can get her going and she can take care of the ball, I think they should have a chance in this one to come out with a victory. And it's going to help, too, that they're going to be playing at home this week.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I was going to say, I think when I was looking up stats for the players for Lexington and Memphis, I found it pretty crazy that both Dave Burr for Lexington and Memphis quarterback O.J. Bruin both have 5 touchdowns apiece and 3 interceptions apiece. The only difference between the two was their completion percentage. OJ Bruin, of course, has a higher completion percentage at 71%. Dave Burr has only 64%. But I really think it's going to come down to the running backs in this game. And like I said, GP Wells for Memphis. He doesn't have any fumbles on the season, but they also
I
don't
think you
utilize
just
him as
jinxed
much.
him. You just jinxed
Yeah.
him, Nate.
I may have.
The commentator's curse. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And I'm sure I'm going to get smacked for that if
If
it
that
comes
really
back and he
happens,
does
you know
fumble.
what? This is
Yeah.
getting clipped. You know this is getting clipped, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Not doing as well in the touchdown department as well as Bailey is. She only has 2 touchdowns this season. And they don't utilize them as much in the receiving game with only 64 yards receiving through 3 games. And I think it's going to be the difference is I think that Memphis doesn't have a signed fullback as far as I know. But Aaron Alexander for Lexington, he's going to make some big holes for Bailey O'Shaughnessy to run through. I think that could be the difference in this game.
JV's like, who's the dude on the right? JV, you know Twin Screw. It's Batman, bro. Come on. He's our mystery guest, number 10 for tonight. JV, good to see you on here tonight, by the way, and congrats once again for being the Season 16 champs. Your boy is going to be on here in a little bit to accept his Diva of the Week award. In the meantime, Nate, I understand. I appreciate all the data. I appreciate the breakdown, but more importantly, logo versus logo. Who wins this game? I'm all about that Memphis logo, but that Lexington logo is pretty tight too, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lexington on this one. I like the minor logo that they've got going on.
Well, let's see. Jack's data likes this game kind of like we do, being a close game with Memphis being the 4th power ranked, Lexington being the 5th, Lexington with only a 2.5 point favorite for Memphis. 50.5 points expected in this game, with Memphis having a 50.5% chance of winning. So basically this game is 50-50 with a low spread. So this will be the game of the week, I think, in my eyes, personally. Moving on to game 3, Chad, now that we just talked about your team, let's talk about Tacoma at Salt Lake. Tacoma's 7th. Salt Lake jumps up to 2. Right, I think were you guys? Who was? I think Lexington or somebody else was 2. I think last week, if I'm not mistaken. So Salt Lake City's having a really good season. Tacoma kind of on the bottom half. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, first let me give a little props to the guy on this side over here. That coaching staff really put it to us last week for Salt Lake. So kudos to you guys. They're playing really good football right now. That defense surprised me. I really wasn't expecting that defense to come out and be like that, but they shut us down, and I got to give them credit. Hopefully for our sake, we made adjustments for this week. But, Tacoma coming in too. You got Brad Jones, who's one of the better runners in the entire SFL. I think he's 2nd in the league in yards, if I remember correctly. Just like I said, both these teams, like I said, Salt Lake is up on the rise. They're number 2 right there behind Albuquerque for sure. But Tacoma could sneak in and do a little damage here. But in the end, I think with what Salt Lake is able to do on both sides of the ball, and after seeing it, they're going to be tough to beat for sure.
Yeah, somebody didn't know. So apparently Twin Screw's coaching in Salt Lake City. I didn't know. I think I skipped a week when I mentioned that. It was 2 weeks ago that you guys were ranked 2nd and Salt Lake 3rd in the feature, right? So okay. Yeah. So I was thinking,
last week, yeah.
What's that?
They beat us last week, yeah.
Okay. So because of your experience with playing Salt Lake, have you played Tacoma this season yet?
No.
Okay. So just based on what you've seen on paper with Salt Lake beating you and being kind of tough at home, does this look like it'll even be a close game?
You never know. Tacoma could come out and just surprise you. I think they have some guys over there that can game plan and know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, like I said, Salt Lake with what they had going on defensive wise and the consensus number 1 quarterback in next year's draft, which will be Tommy Utah. I think they're just the team to beat in that game.
Yeah, where did I see this? Kelgate's collection said Tacoma, since the first week, has had a solid defense.
True.
They're definitely going to need one against this high-scoring Salt Lake team. Jack's data has Salt Lake City favored by over a touchdown, Chad, 7.5 points, but only a 63% probability to win, over under of only 41.5, which is the second lowest for Tuesday night. So all signs pointing towards a Salt Lake City win, but we got to wait till they get on the field because that's why we play the game. Isn't that right, Mike Twin Screw? Moving on to game 4, the final game of Tuesday's matchups. San Jose, my favorite minor league team, against Ottawa. I don't know if your team has played one or both of these teams yet, Mike, but San Jose is power ranked 6th by Jack's data. Ottawa all the way down at 8th. How do you see this one breaking down?
So, first of all, I miss our Friday night lights, these Tuesday and Monday games. I don't know about this.
I agree with you. Friday Night Lights is cool.
Much better. For San Jose and Ottawa, I'm going to start off. Both teams have only played the 3 games, so they're already through their bye weeks. San Jose's 2-1, ranked 3rd, and Ottawa's 0-3, ranked 8th. Ottawa's scoring 24 points a game, but they're giving up 29. San Jose scoring 17, but giving up 14. So a little bit better there. The quarterbacks, Joe Green. Joe Green is at the bottom of most categories, but on a positive note, at least for their offensive line, Joe's only been sacked twice and he's only thrown 2 interceptions, so not too bad. But on the other hand, Scar Patterson leads the league in completions, passing yards, passing touchdowns. Been sacked 9 times though and thrown 4 interceptions. And remember, he's leading the league, and that's only through 3 games. The running backs, Jimmy Hazard, bottom third of the rushing, but second in receptions, only behind O'Shaughnessy, and leads the league in receiving yards for running backs. So they got a little bit of juice there they can use out of the backfield. Where on the other hand, for Ottawa, Adrian Ellis is pretty much last in most of the rushing stats, but if you look at it, it's only because of Patterson and Ottawa's aggressive passing game that they have. San Jose, they do have a fullback now that they just got, so they didn't use them all too much, pretty much just for blocking. As far as the receiving goes, for San Jose, you got Doug Spelling, Logan Strange, and a new tight end, Anthony Delano, this week. They'll be using him. Ottawa, you got Ryan Roosevelt, who's having a pretty good year, Josh Stiles, and a hot tight end, Rupert Westcloud, who's leading tight ends in catches, yards, and touchdowns. So Ottawa's doing some great things on the field. They just, they're having a rough time. Now, as far as defense goes, for San Jose, you got Jermaine Menefield and Deshaun Evans with some pass deflections. They each got 4 pass deflections, and Deshaun Evans has 2 interceptions through the 3 games so far, so he's doing all right. And then you got Robert Crone, defensive tackle over there. He's got 3 sacks. For Ottawa, you got Justin Reside. Nobody can get that thing right.
Dude,
he's got
he even called me out on it this last show on Tuesday that I didn't get his name right. But go ahead.
Got it. So he's got 2 picks, but those picks have come at some huge times in those games, and really kind of almost kept them in those games. So going with last week, San Jose's coming off their bye, but week 3 they beat Madison 15-12 with that awesome Hail Mary to Doug Spelling. Ottawa's coming off a heartbreaking loss last week at Tacoma, an overtime field goal. Scar Patterson had 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks in that game. So,
hey, Mike, real quick, people are having your volume went down for some reason, like about 20 seconds ago.
Okay. On paper, the whole thing looks lopsided in favor of Ottawa, but for some reason, Ottawa can't close these games out. Both teams are right around 50% on third down. San Jose leads the league with a +3 turnover differential. Some players to watch this week. Doug Spelling's having a great season, but watch out for Logan Strange. I think he's going to have a big-time game. Deshaun Evans has 2 interceptions on the season and 3 pass deflections. Along with the entire San Jose defense, They have the lowest yards allowed in the league and the lowest points allowed per game this season.
Oh wow.
So keep an eye on San Jose's defense. For Ottawa, if the defense doesn't show up for whatever reason, Scar Patterson is going to have a monster game. Ryan Roosevelt has been Scar's top target. He's got 368 yards this season so far. And like I said, he's made some huge plays and continues to give Ottawa's chances to stay in the game. They just don't close it out.
Well, all that data that you just said and Jack's data is pointing to a 3.5-point favorite in San Jose. Ottawa 0-3, but like you said, they're playing close games. I like the way San Jose's playing really well. I think it was Jeff Gunny. Someone in the chat said that San Jose doesn't do a lot of different stuff, but what they do very well. San Jose favored by 3.5, over under 44.5, but only a 45% chance of victory for San Jose. So at the end of the day, it's not a very big spread. So this is close to a pick 'em. This game could probably go either way. Mike, since we have you here right now, let's segue into some minor league news. Later in the offseason, we'll talk about draft boards and position and that positional rankings right now is what you've been working on. I know you share this on your Twitter. Hopefully most people see this, have seen this either on Discord or Twitter and been keeping up. But why don't you break down your updated positional rankings for us?
Cool. So the week 4 updated, and everybody remember this is my opinion. There's things that I look at. I look at builds. I look at a lot of the activity in general chat, SFLm general chat during the games on Twitch and YouTube, things like that. So I'm kind of looking at everything. I bring in stats a little bit, but not too much because they really don't mean nothing. But they do kind of go in with the builds a little bit. So going into this, and I'll bring up last year, there was a lot of movement last year up until week 5, week 6. And I think that's going to start slowing down again this year. But as you see in the green, those are people that moved up this week.
Okay.
In the red, they moved down from last week. Whites are no change, so there wasn't a lot of change in a lot of places. So people are just kind of keeping their positions where they're at. A couple of these positions, running back, linebacker, and free safety, the top 2, top 3, they're kind of juggling up and down, jockeying for position there. So keep an eye out. Rookies, keep doing what you're doing. You see in the yellow, we got some new people on the board. We got some new people even after I put this out. So we got like 121 rookies, I think, right now in the minor leagues. So the yellow ones are first week on the board. You'll see some of those next week too. And as far as...
Oh, we lost you, Mike.
Yeah, give me a sec here.
Oh, there you go.
All right, I lost my other stuff. So I also got another tab to where I'm looking at some of the SFL teams and their needs, right? What they're needing, and pretty much got those from the Discord. But that way the rookies can kind of look at, okay, this team needs my position or whatever. I need to reach out to those owners and GMs. And again, I know your coaches have been telling you guys, get yourselves known, get your names out there. I've been told by a couple of owners and GMs, hey, this guy contacted me, but he just said hi.
Right.
Don't just say hi. Tell them your name. Tell them where you're from. Tell them what team you play for. Tell them what position you're playing. Tell them what you're interested in. They want to know you. They can already see your player and all the stats and everything like that. They don't give a damn about that. They want to know you, and are you a fit for their locker room?
Hey, let me ask you a couple quick questions about this before we move on. So as I'm looking at this in the running backs, up from last week is green. So that means Bailey and Douglas Brown jumped up. Does that mean Jimmy Hazard was number 1 last week? And with the season that Bailey's having, how has Bailey not been at the top all season?
So Bailey, like I said, he's kind of jumped up and down in spot 1 and 2, only because I do look at activity, and Bailey's just not there.
Okay.
Or very, very little there compared to the other guys. You got Jimmy Hazard, who's helping out scouting a little bit on the SFLm team, so he's up there. Doug Brown's just a beast with that build. So for those guys, those 3 are really jockeying for that top spot.
So, last question. Do you keep track, or do you know off the top of your head biggest jumpers, biggest highest gains, lowest drops on this list?
I do keep track of it week by week, just on a different spreadsheet. I mean, I
Okay.
could go to that if you had a question.
I was just
Uh,
wondering who they were.
yep, I do. Maybe I'll have that for my next week.
Okay.
I'll put that on there.
Perfect. And for those of you who don't know, Mike, along with a couple other people, they do these positional rankings. They do draft boards. There's all kinds of stuff that we do in the off season. If you haven't been here in an off season before, we'll be working through all of that over the coming weeks before we get to the draft. So, Mike, thanks for coming on again. Welcome back to the show, and good to see you again, buddy.
Love you, man.
Hey, I get that a lot, bro. I get that a lot. Not from Chad, but from other people. Hey, this is the part of the show that I always say, "Hey, Gunny, are you there? Hey, Gunny,
Yeah, Dave.
are you there?" You don't sound like Gunny.
I'm not Gunny, Dave.
Are you Gunny all?
I am all that Gunny that you need.
It is. Look at Ray Ray already on it. I guess we're going to be playing the Marine Sim anyway. I have another song I was thinking about playing, but it seems a little inappropriate. So I think I'm just going to start with the Marine Sim and we'll go from there. So Mike All, ladies and gentlemen, stepping up to the plate, subbing in for the second time for Gunny. The only 2 times that Gunny has missed this show in almost 100 shows. Got to give props to Gunny. Got to give props to Mike All. Mike, what are all the pearls of wisdom tonight?
Thank you, Dave. Good evening, SFL Nation. It's been a great season 16. There was a lot of hard work put in behind the scenes, and I'd like to send a shout out and a big thank you to all those people. Starting with the Commissioner and CEO of the SFL, Cameron Irvine. Deputy Commissioner, Andrew Rastelli. Director of Player Personnel, Marcus Dunhill. Assistants, Rochelle Colston and Yogi Barr. Director of Roster Management, Tom Rahman. His assistant, Jermaine Smith. Director of Broadcasting, Mike Daggs. His assistant, Chris the Logo Curtis, although he may not be the logo much anymore. Director of Social Media, Tom Welsh. Director of Statistics, Mark Lopez. Director of Game Day Operations, Stephen Hacker. Director of Compliance, Mark Hurwitz. Webmaster, Liam Crowder. And the de facto head of written content, that would be Slyn Shady.
Yep.
Thank you all for all the hard work that you put in this season. All the work behind the scenes really is what makes this league work. And we all appreciate it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And this is all.
That is all. It just sounds a little different from you, Mike, for some reason. Why is that?
Because I don't know how to yell the way Gunny yells.
That's all right, bro. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thanks for filling in for Gunny, and you'll be here sticking around. We're about to break down season 16 as well. Thank you again.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about this? How about we break down season 16? I've asked everybody to kind of keep in mind what they, what they liked, what they didn't like, the highs and lows, things that stood out to them the most, and an overall recap of what season 16 was in their eyes. A couple things I just want to point out, from the very beginning, as you look at this, we added new teams to the SFL for season 16. Los Angeles, San Diego, and DC. So right out the gate, we were going through a lot of change in the league and a lot of good change. I personally think 24 teams is perfect. I mean, look at that graphic, for God's sake. It's, asymmetrical. It's 6 and 4. It's perfect. You add any more teams in there and you mess up the whole graphic. I just don't know if we should mess up the graphics. The 3 teams that came in, one of them made the playoffs. One of them took about a half a season to win their first game, but then won a few games. And then another team didn't win a game. I think they were the first team to never do it, but they were really close in some games at the end of the season. So there was a lot of excitement from the expansion teams and LA, which is technically not an expansion team this season. teams started out hot like St. Louis and got cold. Teams started out cold and got hot like Las Vegas. There were roller coaster teams like Lone Star. And the Charleston and Carolina and then you got Florida, who comes out the gate, loses week 1, and then doesn't lose another time for the rest of the season until the last game of the season. It's just, and then of course the cherry on top is Denver, with winning their second championship under Jeremy Vegas. So just there was a lot going on, Frank, this season. For me, I think it was the best SFL season I've seen. I've only been here for 4 of them, or 3.5. But it's the best one I've seen so far. I think the competition was the best, and the play on the field was better. I think all around it was just an amazing season. What do you have to say about season 16?
I thought it was very exciting for a lot of guys that were drafted with me in season 15 and moved on to other places in season 16. There was a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz going on. And everything. You had some disappointment. I mean, Louisiana, we were 4-8. Wasn't expecting that, but it is what it is. We'll rebound from that. But you had the excitement, like LA, like you were talking about. During the season, I always said that I liked how they built that team, and it showed as they progressed and made it to the playoffs. I was very excited for them. I was excited for my buddies in Vegas too. When I was there last year, we were 4-8. And this year they were able to get on a roll and make the playoffs and win their first playoff game. I was very happy for them.
Yeah. What what playoff teams did you think, or that made it, did you think weren't going to make it, or the other way around? Was there a team that you were like, holy smokes, I didn't expect this team to make the playoffs, or a team that you thought for sure would make the playoffs and didn't make it?
Oh, well, I thought Louisiana would make the playoffs and didn't make it. And then, like I said, Vegas going 4-8. They're changing offenses. You had some changeover and things like that, and didn't know how that was going to be. And I was very pleased that they made it.
I got to tell you, seeing AJ and Eddie in the chat tonight, making me think, I don't think a lot of people gave Arizona a chance because everybody said that was probably the toughest division to get into, right? We had Sioux Falls, and I think it was Denver, Sioux Falls, and Vegas, I believe, right? And everybody was like, this is just too much for Arizona. And all Eddie Gage did was go out, get in the playoffs, and then almost upset the number 1 team. What'd you think about that Arizona team this season?
Eddie Gage is the guru on calling plays and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I wrote down one of my best moments was for the SFL was the game Arizona played against Charleston. Charleston ties it late with I think 26 seconds left, something like that.
Yeah.
They kick off, and in 2 plays, Arizona gets down. Thanks to a personal foul called. They end up kicking a field goal as time expires and ends up winning it. And I think that was, maybe a catalyst to propelling them into the playoffs.
Exactly. Frank, stick around. Not like you're going anywhere, but I'm going to come back to you again here in a minute. Let me jump to one of the guys that's on voice. Tyler Falk, Mr. kind of SFL everything lately. Tyler was in the SFL minor league last season, or the season before, I guess, season 15, or in between 15 and 16. He was a player. He was an announcer. He's a number 1 draft pick. He ends up getting his, announcing on the SFL games as well. He gets his own show. He's a regular on this show. He's coaching now in the minor leagues. Tyler, is there anything other than Cam's job that you don't do in this league at this point, or what? Seriously.
Well, I don't know if I can say I want Cam's job.
And even sideline reporter in the championship game. I forgot to add that little sprinkle on top.
I think Cam does a phenomenal job just doing everything he does with the league. He has the expertise and the know-how, especially in video production and TV production. So I'm going to leave that to the experts, as they would say, Dave. Right. I'm just here and there about. I like to do everything. That's what I've been doing since day one. I've gotten in the league is try and help out where I can, add to the SFL as much as I can, as much as my body will allow me to, because I think the SFL is that good of a product. So the more I can do, the better. And what a first full SFL season for me. I can't really describe how phenomenal the season has gone.
Well, let me ask you, from going from in the minor league to the number 1 draft pick, to being on a team that didn't win a game and getting through your entire first SFL season, from that point of view, as a rookie on that kind of team with someone who's so involved in the league. Why don't you take us kind of through what you feel about season 16, the highs, the lows, etc.?
There's definitely a lot of anticipation for anybody coming into a team for the first time. Definitely a lot of anticipation for a brand new franchise to go out and perform well. I think for the majority of us in the San Diego locker room is every day everyone was keeping their head up. It was really a really good atmosphere in the locker room itself, just the camaraderie among the players themselves. So I really, San Diego has a lot of great people. I'll say in San Diego. So it is frustrating to go and not even win a football game in your first 12 games in your first full regular season. But I have no doubt that San Diego eventually will be better.
Oh, sure. I'm sure. I mean, first of all, everybody loves Optimus. I mean, Optimus is a great guy. Having Liam Hammer come back halfway through the season, I'm sure helped. It seems like, and I don't want to say it's necessarily right when he came back, but you definitely were more competitive in the second half of the season than you were in the first half, I think, except for maybe that one of those first games where that was really close with LA at the beginning of the season. But so outside of you, though, what do you think about the other expansion teams' play? And I know LA's not an expansion team, but a transitional team, if you will. But what do you think about the play of LA and DC this season as well?
I mean, LA is that old Chicago Wildcats franchise, right? And they had a lot of promise coming into the season, minus me saying they were going 2-10. There's that.
Wait, didn't you say somebody else was going to go 2-10 as well?
I
don't remember.
Maybe Atlanta.
I don't. Oh, that's
maybe
right.
Atlanta.
That's right. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh boy.
And everyone else.
Anywho,
they're already typing it in the chat before you can even answer. Go ahead, bro. Oh, it's Nate, of course.
Anywho. Oh my goodness. Anywho, but no, LA, very strong team, and I think probably the most impressive out of the three teams this season, by far and large, was the DC Dragons, just because of, again, we knew the pedigree that Destro brought to the league.
Right.
We knew that he was going to be a solid coach. We knew what kind of atmosphere or thereabout he was going to cultivate there in Maryland. But just to see it, day in, day out throughout the entirety of the season, to see that team improve and be competitive, maybe not right away in week one, but competitive throughout the most of the season and pick up a couple wins, I think speaks volumes to that coaching staff. With how they're performing, I think they're going to be the next Fort Worth. In Fort Worth, how they made the champion, or not the championship, but the playoffs at least this season. I think DC is on a good track to get into the playoffs next season.
Eddie Gage in the chat saying with 16 rookies, DC has to be hands down coaching staff of the season. That's a good shout out right there. Nate, let me roll over to you. Tyler, stick around, bro. Doug Britton said in the chat, game of the year was the crazy Las Vegas LA game. And I think up until the championship game, I probably would have agreed with him. But do any other games stick out to you, or any other crazy plays? What stands out to you from season 16?
Boy, just seeing all the rookies get their first action of the season, for Vancouver and in particular, seeing Jeff see, you got me doing it now.
Oh, see? Hey, I haven't said Jeff in weeks, bro.
Yeah, I know. Josh Fardsey getting his first pick six of his young rookie career. That was fun to watch. And then, I think there was a crazy moment. Just that last game, that championship game, walk-off kick for the win for Denver. This the first thing that comes to my mind. But yeah, it's just a great season all around.
Chad, let me jump to you real quick. I'm gonna rush through the next couple people, but we're gonna do another round because Kramer Jackman's jumped on. I want to get him on by around 10 o'clock. So Nate, I'll come back to you again as well. Chad, let me ask you this: you've been around, you've been around for a hot minute for sure in this league. Former GM of Baltimore, current GM of London. But what do you make? Is it just me, or did a lot of things seem upside down this season? And what do you make of the Sioux Fallses, the Queen Cities, the Louisianas, all these, shoe-in playoff teams season after season after season, none of them making the playoffs this season, and some of them struggling to even win games?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it just shows you how good each and every coaching staff has become, right? I mean, because teams like London, for example, got better in the coaching staff department. Not trying to toot my own horn, but come on. But other teams, have just gotten better. I mean, like Eddie mentioned. I mean, DC, they had 16 rookies on that damn team. I faced them twice, and they were both tough each time.
Yeah.
They
got their first victory against us, bro. And Peanut had a rushing game for the ages.
Yeah, and like I said,
Peanut. Kevin, sorry, go ahead.
It's one of those things where the more I've been talking with Mighty a lot lately and stuff, just about things, and he always just preaches about coaching. And then back in the day, I used to I'd be like, it's just Mighty. He's talking about coaching. But really, I mean, it is. I mean, that's really like what it has come down to. All these coaching staffs have just been fantastic. Sioux Falls, they kind of stayed the same path, and I think teams have figured it out. Louisiana, I mean, they kind of stayed the same path. Teams figured it out. I think Louisiana will be better next season. I think Sioux Falls will be better next season. Queen City, I think, will be better next season as well because, with a fresh outlook, that team's going to be different, and there's not, I mean, next season, there is not going to be a team that you're just going to be like, oh yeah, that's easy, we're going to win that game. There's not. Every team is going to be very different and be very tough.
Right. Let me jump to Twin Screw before I go to Mike All real quick. We'll wrap up with the mics before we get to Kramer. Twin Screw, kind of a crazy season for some teams, right? You had St. Louis jump out to, I believe it was 5-0, and then they struggled to limp into the playoffs at the end. You had Vegas, who was struggling, and they were the hottest team going to the playoffs. You had up and down teams like Lone Star and Vancouver that one week looked like a top 4 team, and the next week they look like a bottom 4 team. Does that just speak to the new competitiveness and parity in the league, or does it speak to something else? And what's your take on all that? Oh, can't hear you. Wait, hold on. Are you muted? Let me see.
I was muted.
You're muted, bro. Hey, hold on. Since I don't have Winkler here to do this for me, you got to give me a second to do it. I got to give you the honorary. You're muted, bro. It takes me a little longer to get to it, but go ahead.
So I think if you looked at that midpoint in the season, I think there started to be some more upsets. Where a lot of the coaching staffs were really starting to figure out this legend setting, for whatever changes there were on it. We had a rough time. I had a rough time in Louisiana, figuring it out and getting everything situated and things like that. And that's a season that we had. So I think once you started getting that midpoint of the season and teams started figuring it out, and some, they started maybe going back to old ways, and it just wasn't working. So I mean, you look at L.A. L.A. was high flying all year.
Oh yeah, L.A. too. Yeah.
So Arizona, look at how deep Vegas went in. Fort Worth, how impressive was Fort Worth this year? So you start figuring those things out, and so I think the coaches just did a heck of a job figuring it out or not figuring it out, one of the two. So it depends on how you look at it.
Hey, Chad, don't blame me for your problems, bro. I just saw the thing. Mike, Twin Screw, real quick. Last a follow-up real quick before I go to Mike All and then to Kramer. Since you're a coach, do you think the first 6 weeks was, because of the legend setting change, the first 6 weeks or so was everybody just kind of getting used to it, then the second half settled in? So if you take that second half of the season where everybody's more settled in with the new settings, does that lean towards season 17 being even more competitive than the last half of season 16?
Well, what I'll say is for the teams that didn't figure it out as fast as others, they should be working harder, simming earlier, and trying to figure this thing out. So I think 17 will definitely be more competitive than 16 was.
Damon just said key thing teams as well as myself did go back to some old ways and it didn't work. at all on the legend setting. So see, even Dr. Sim is saying, if I'm understanding, if I'm reading this correctly, that some of the old stuff wasn't working. They even had to adapt and change and overcome themselves. Even guys who have been in the league as long as they have. Michael, last question to you before we get to Kramer, and then we'll do another round. Going to the divisions this season, this was the first season since I've been here that we were in divisions. I know they did divisions way back when, but since I've been here, it's the first time. I personally loved it. I thought it was great. But when you looked at some of the divisions, like we talked a minute ago, that West division looked like Arizona was going to have a hard time getting out of there to get in the playoffs, but they did it. The South, I think, was probably the most competitive. We almost put 4 teams. If Houston beats London on that last week, we have 4 teams in the playoffs. And then is it the Atlantic? What's the one with Carolina and
That's
Charleston?
the Atlantic. That's us.
Atlantic, yeah, and Atlantic with Jacksonville and Florida. All that. That one's probably the second most competitive. Do you like that we went to divisions? Do you think it makes things? Does it help rivalries? Does it make it a little more competitive when you have to game plan? What we played 4 games, I believe, in division, so a third of your schedule is in division. Does that put a different spin on it? And what's your take on the whole division situation?
Oh, it definitely put a different spin on it. It definitely had a little bit of drama. I mean, there were some existing rivalries, i.e., Jacksonville, Florida, but
right.
It really made it more exciting for some of these games because there's now some new rivalries that exist thanks to the divisions, and it really made it fun to watch because you want to do good in your division and you want to try and win it, and it was nice to see some of these teams step up and really do it. Like you saw a young team like Fort Worth step up and get it done. It was a lot more fun this season than season 15 thanks to the divisions in some aspects.
Thank you, Mike. By the way, Mike is the GM, Mike All, the GM of Jacksonville in that tough division over there as well. I'm going to do one more round of questioning after we meet the man of the hour. And I mean, when I say the man of the hour, I mean the man for probably the next off season and maybe into the next season until maybe we even get another champion in there, because the way this game went down, this instant classic, and Denver being the champs, the Diva of the week for championship week, season 16, the legendary kicker of the SFL, Kramer Jackman. Kramer, welcome back to the show, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me back on the show, man.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for being here. So first of all, want you to know, you're getting a standing ovation from Chad right now. Either that or he's got to go,
Awesome.
either that or he's got to go use the head. I'm not sure which one, but maybe both. Who knows? But we talked to you a little bit on Sunday night about your game and the season and your plans and what have you. But first of all, let me congratulate you on being, I think, only like the 3rd or 4th unanimous Diva of the Week winner out of about 30 of them. So first of all, congrats on winning that.
Thank you. That's actually quite impressive to my knowledge, because I hear it's very hard to win Diva of the Week, especially doing it unanimously. So I mean, hey, that's perfect.
It is. It's not easy. Some people think it's easy. It's not that easy. I mean, you can't just
you got a lot of sticklers here, man. That's always good.
You just can't catch a touchdown and shake your butt at the crowd, or well, actually, I guess you can that one also. But we digress a little bit. Kramer, tell me about. I know we talked about Sunday night, but not everybody may have been listening. But tell me about that championship game, and tell me about you being put in just the perfect situation that every kid dreams of being put in when they're little, but you got to live it out.
So before every single game, I always message Jeremy saying, "Hey, how you feeling? How you feeling about this game? How you feeling about the Sims?" And if he always sends me every single time, he's like, "Dude, I do not feel good about this one." Every single game, no matter what it is, even though how much he prepares for it, especially for this season, he was like, "Dude, I think we're going to lose this game." And knowing, going through the game and watching that back, and the fact that, I had one kick, and it was the fact it was the game-winning one. One was spectacular, and awesome. A way to put a fairy tale ending to my career, because going first game into the SFL, hitting a game winner. I can't remember who it was, but the fact that on that very first game that I did play, I did not watch the game whatsoever because I was just busy with doing college stuff, and I mean, knowing college stuff is drinking and partying, but
Wait, what?
But
that sounds a lot like the military, huh, Twin Screw?
No, but just being able to hit a game winner in my first game in the SFL and be able to hit it in the very last game of my career in the SFL is just spectacular.
Crazy bookend game-winning field goals. What a career for you. Let me ask you this. First of all, I'm going to ask you if you have time to stick around. We'll do pick'ems.
Oh, yeah.
But before that, can you put kind of your spin and put a bow on yours and Denver's and then the SFL season 16 from your point of view, from your perspective?
Shoot, that's a very loaded question.
It's a big question, bro. But you know what? Hey, I'm talking to a big guy, so you know.
So being the GM and stuff, the preparation work for this coming season was trying to retain all the players that we can, and then it always goes down to Jeremy and I. Well, pretty much 95% of the time it's Jeremy trying to figure out builds and what people can do to help everyone, like the weekly progressions and stuff. So that was the biggest thing. Is everybody followed that. We knew it's like, I wouldn't say it's the Patriot way, but we have a way in Denver where we just keep things fun, loose. I mean, we do weekly challenges that earns points to our team store, and 3 guys, first, second, and third, are going to get some free merch from us. So it's like just making sure the interaction in our locker room is kept a positive vibe, positive all the time. Granted, we lost one game, but the fact that we won every other one after that is ridiculous, and it's just the marching mentality, because we're never satisfied. We're still never satisfied. We won this a championship, and we still want to win another one. We want to win another one after that. We want to be the number 1 team in the SFL ever. We want to eclipse Queen City's 4 championships, and I feel like with what our place now in the SFL is, we have very good building blocks to keep adding forward to it. But even though I'm retiring and Jeremy's calling it quits once again in the coaching. It's the second time he's retired.
I was like, don't worry, he'll be back in season 19 probably, right?
This is the conversation Jeremy and I had as soon as the game officially over. 'Cause he straight up called me and said, "Hey, we did it," and I said, "You know what? We get to relax in the Bahamas like Echo Love is going to after this game." So it's it's just perfect, and I'm actually looking forward to this next season. And the thing is, once the season was over with, I mean, it was 100%, 110% this season was amazing. But the next day, I got with Jeremy, I got with Adam, and we've already had steps going forward to the next season.
That's awesome to hear, bro. You know what? Let's do this. Let's knock out these pick'ems real quick, and then we'll go back to our second round of questions. Kramer, you're welcome to stay on as long as you want to. If you got stuff to do, I understand if you have to bounce as well. Either way, you're welcome.
I'll give you some sophisticated pick'ems here, and then I'll head out.
All right, well, let's jump to sophistication real quick. Frank, let's start with you. First SFL Week 5 minor league game of the week on Tuesday night, Birmingham at Madison. Who you got?
I'm pulling from my boy and the Lynx.
Nate, who you got?
Links up, baby. Can't go against my alma mater.
Of course not. Chad, what about you, bro?
Yeah, I'll tell you that. I got to go Lynx.
Wow,
Yeah.
Look at this. No love for Birmingham so far. Twin Screw, what about you, bro? You got love for Birmingham?
Got to stay with that alma mater, season 1 champs, Madison.
There you go. Kramer, where do you stand on this Birmingham at Madison game?
So I've drafted some people from the Lynx. I've put out shout out to D'Amico Ryans. But I'm going Birmingham. I can't let my boy Adam Wiseman down, so I got to pick him up in Birmingham right here.
I forgot you got that. Mike All, are you still around by any chance? I think Mike had to bounce. Yeah, I was going to have him do for Gunny, but that's all right. Tyler's here. Tyler, who do you got between Birmingham and Madison?
You know, being a Minnesotan, it's kind of hard to pick a team from Wisconsin, but I can't go against the Lynx here.
Yeah, I kind of sensed that, and I guess Mike All left his OBS on or something because I see his name, but apparently he's not around. I think Frank, that brings us back to you. Second game of the week on Tuesday night again. Everybody, Memphis at Lexington. Who you got?
My boy Chad in Lexington.
Nate, how about you?
I think Aaron Alexander is going to make the difference in this game, blocking for Bailey. I'm going Lexington.
Okay. Chad, do you agree?
God, I hope you're right. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what though, Memphis is tough. I mean, Rain Rhea is a good coach over there. They got a good quarterback running back combo. Which, by the way, I always say a quarterback running back combo was former Lexington Miners at one point,
Right.
when they were around. I mean, I got to stick with my team, so
Yeah, of course you do. Twin Screw, let's get an unbiased opinion. Memphis and Lexington.
Hey, I think this is going to be an awesome game to watch. Fantastic game. I think Lexington is probably a little pissed about last week, Go Salt Lake. And I think they're really going to coach up for this one, so I'm going to take Lexington.
Okay. Kramer, where do you stand on this Memphis at Lexington game on Tuesday night?
I want to let you guys know I have yet to watch an SFLm regular season game this season, and this is the first week I actually will be because, I mean, of course, scouting-wise. I'm taking Memphis. I like some players on that team. I also like the players on the other team, too, but I mean, I'll also go from there. I'll go Memphis.
Go Memphis. All right. Tyler, are you calling any of these games this week, by the way?
I'm calling one of them. When we get
Okay.
to it, I'll let you know which
All right.
one.
I'm assuming it's not this one then.
Oh, definitely not this one. And this is another tight one. I mean, Memphis and OJ Bruin. Yesterday on Netma, I think, if I remember correctly, and I think the reasoning still sticks today, is OJ Bruin's going to make the difference in the two quarterbacks. Memphis is going to win this one.
Yeah, I think that this might come down to definitely game of the week. If they both put a lot of points on, it's a close game. It could be game of the season potential. Frank, back to you. I think. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Game 3 on Tuesday night. Tacoma at Salt Lake. That Twin Screw over there is coaching.
So I gotta go with Salt Lake. I help them out as best I can. I don't do much, but I help them out as best I can.
All right, Nate. What about you?
I'm going Salt Lake. I think Tacoma's got a good defense, but Tommy Utah is just going to take over that game.
Trying to see. I'm watching the chat a little bit. A few people are throwing out. I see lots of Madisons in the chat. I don't see anything from the first game, I don't think. One Memphis, a couple of Salt Lake Cities. Chad, Tacoma at Salt Lake City. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, Tacoma's defense has been playing pretty decent, but I mean, I just got my ass kicked last week by Salt Lake. I'm not going against them.
Well, Twin Screw, we know where you're going with this. Tell us why.
Salt Lake, baby. Hey, doing a lot of simming this week already, or before the playbooks were put in. So Tacoma's got a great defense, but I think we got something figured out for them.
Okay. Kramer, Tacoma at the hot Salt Lake City team. What are you doing?
I'm a defensive-minded guy. As you can tell, that's how the Nightwings won the championship. I'm going to go Grizzlies.
Ooh, the sole guy, unless Tyler's going to go Tacoma as well. Tyler, what are you doing about this game?
Well, this is why I listen and stay tuned to Dave Axe's show, because you guys are giving me all my tidbits I need to go ahead and call the game. So I'll just keep all this to myself.
Yeah, shocker. All right, Frank, last game on Tuesday. I don't even know what to call it. We got Friday Night Lights. We got Monday Night Football. Tuesday something. I don't even know what to call it. I can't even think of anything. My favorite team, San Jose, who's actually playing pretty well this season. I think they're power ranked 6th, though, at Ottawa, who still, I believe, are they one of the teams that hasn't won a game yet, right? So who you got, San Jose at Ottawa?
San Jose always finds a way to win somehow, so I'm going with them.
Okay. Nate?
San Jose surprised this season from having a losing season in the first 2 seasons in the minor leagues to just being on a winning roll this season. I'm going to San Jose.
Okay. Chad, which of these teams do you like better Tuesday night?
Tuesday in the trench.
Hey, Hubba Breezy said Tuesday night fights. I mean, dude, we can't get anything going for this Tuesday thing. Go ahead. I hope it's the only Tuesday on the schedule. I'll tell you that, but go ahead.
Oh, it's weird. I mean, I went with Ottawa once, got burned. Haven't been burned picking San Jose yet, so I'm going San Jose.
All right, there you go. Twin Screw, where do you stand on this game?
So, like I said in the pre, saying that Ottawa looks great on paper.
Yeah.
I said on Tyler's show a couple of weeks ago that Ottawa was going to get it straight, and I still think Ottawa's going to get it straight. They are a tough team. They're a tough team all the seasons they've been in the SFLm. Scar Patterson, I think, is going to have a blowout game. I'm going with Ottawa.
Okay. And Kramer, that brings us to you, bro. San Jose flight at Ottawa. Who you got?
For Tuesday night Dynamite, let's go with Ottawa. Let's have them get their first win of the game of the season.
There you go. Tuesday night Dynamite. There you go. 2 Ottawas. Tyler, are you going to make it 3 in a row?
Well, I kind of like Will Todd's idea of making a Taco Tuesday. I think
I've
I
never
did hear
heard of
something
that.
about all the stadiums offering maybe a $1 taco.
Dude, that's
deal.
That's mind-blowing. I mean, that's just Taco Tuesday one night. Why didn't anybody else ever think of that?
Oh, there we go. That'll get some fans to the stadiums. But Ottawa is due for a win, but I can't see him taking them against San Jose. San Jose has really impressed me so far this season. Already have 2 wins in the first half of the season compared to their first 2 seasons when they couldn't get any. I'm really liking the change that I've seen from the Flight take the win.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are your pick'ems for SFLm Week 5. Tuesday night Dynamite. Kramer Jackman always delivering on the field, off the field, and on the Access Live show. Kramer, thanks for being here, bro. Really appreciate you.
Hey, thanks, guys.
You got it, bro. Let's move on to I want to do another round of questioning, but let me get through a couple announcements real quick. First announcement is the fantasy football update that Johnny put together. I've been updating you every week. And yes, the Access Live drunk crew picking on a whim for charity wins the fantasy football. So Objective Zero will be getting, I don't know what it is. I guess it's a few $100, whatever it comes out to. So the mere fact that Objective Zero won, which for those of you who may not have heard some of the former shows or do not remember, is a charity that helps fight against veteran suicide. So I'm glad that Objective Zero won, and appreciate everybody that was on the show that night to help us pick. There were so many that I don't even remember who they all were, so I'm just going to give a blanket thank you to everybody who was on, except I remember Chad for sure. I mean, I think everyone remembers Chad from that show, but so that's that. Also,
hey, can we make an announcement of how terrible Johnny was in that? I mean, he was dead last.
Yeah, hold on. Let's take a peek at that real quick.
Look at that.
Hey, I'm not like saying much because I was last up until the last couple weeks, and then or last couple games, and I finally bumped up to 8th in the semis. So I'm not gonna say a whole lot, but you gotta love when the guy puts it together, gives us all his money, right?
Yeah, the guy puts it together is the one that sucks the most.
Well, now you know what though. Plus, he took home money on the Survivor
True,
Rule anyway,
yeah.
so he could afford to lose this. No big deal. No big deal at all. A quick announcement on my upcoming schedule. I just want to let you guys know. I do plan on doing something special for show number 100. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that the Axes announcements, the awards that we talked about. So I think this is how it's going to go down. There's going to be no show, no Access Live this coming up Tuesday due to SFL Minor League. We'll do show 95 and 96, 97 and 98. And then I'm going on vacation, so that I will miss 3 shows. There won't be 3 shows. We won't have one on the 3rd, the 8th, or the 10th. And on June 1st, Tuesday, June 1st, we will announce all the Axes, all the categories, the nominations, and everything. We'll have Eagle put it in my show server. And then when I come back, we'll recap those on the 15th on episode 99. And then episode 100 on Thursday, June 17th, we will announce all of those award-winning categories. So that's how we're going to break it down. Just wanted to give you guys kind of a head up, the kind of the road to 100 shows. And then after that June 17th show, we'll see what happens. We'll see what's on the docket. But I do want to get back to, you know what, I'm just going to throw it on the After Dark too. Might as well just go After Dark now. I want to do another round with everybody that's here about Season 16. We've talked about some of the scheduling. We talked about the divisions. We talked about teams going up, teams coming down. We talked about teams we thought were going to be good and weren't. We talked about teams that weren't, that were going to be bad and they weren't. Hot teams that went cold, cold teams that went hot. All of that being said, Frank, I'm just going to give everybody kind of a last word to kind of wrap up and put a bow on your own personal Season 16. Tyler just said he's got to bounce. I forgot Tyler has to work usually by 10:15. So, Tyler, appreciate you being here while you could, bro. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me on. Everybody have a good night.
You got it, bro. So I've got the 4 panelists left. It looks like who's left on the show. So, Frank, let's start with you. Do me a favor. Put the Frank the Franchise bow on Season 16 for us.
Season 16 was full of surprises, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. I think some people that stood out that kind of fly under the radar of MVP. One of my personal favorites, offensive MVP, under the radar type of person is Kendra Hall. She doesn't lead the league in TDs or yards, but she was clutch when needed to be for Vancouver. And then defensive MVP under the radar, Troy Loshaw, 12
Oh,
interceptions,
Loshaw's
2
awesome, man.
pick sixes, 7 pass defenses, 4 tackle for losses, and a sack, 91 total tackles.
Yeah, both Kendra and Loshaw, phenomenal. Yeah, those are good. I've actually got a couple others in mind. I might name drop a little bit too, Frank. Now that you brought that up, uh, Nate, moving on to you. Put the Nate Hall bow on season 16 for us.
Frank stole mine. I was gonna, I was gonna mention Kendra. Yeah, I was gonna mention Kendra. Just Jesus Christ, what I mean. So she leaves Atlanta season 15. Atlanta kind of had a step back season this season. They were trying to make things work with the 2 tight end look instead of the 3 wide receiver. Didn't work as well as they would hope to, but I'm sure they're going to be back next season. But man, after she came over to Vancouver from Atlanta, she really turned it up and had just a mind blowing season. And I actually told her in chat earlier, I don't know if anybody else saw it or not. She said she was proud of her season, and I said, look, I'm proud of your season too, but I'm kind of scared about how much stronger you're going to be next season. It's going to be like I'm going to be stepping back, and she's going to be blowing everybody else out of the water as far as stats goes. So, like I said, I'm scared to see where she goes from here.
Well, Mike's real quick, Nate. I'm gonna let you continue. Mike St. Green just dropped in the chat. Donnie Hands, he feels, had the best breakout season of anyone as well, since we're talking about receivers. But go ahead.
And also Doug Britton also said Scott Johnson for Las Vegas Fury for comeback player of the year. He had a really good season also. Rookie of the season, I would say, as far as Florida went into the playoffs, I would say Bullet Bolesky. He had a really good season for the running back position for Florida. He's going to come back stronger next season. But yeah, just all around great season from everybody, and really can't wait till next season to see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Chad, I'm going to ask you a quick question before I have you put your Chad Rowland bow on season 16. I want you to finish talking about whatever you mentioned in chat that I didn't let you finish or whatever. But before you even do that, so you got 3 things going on now. I didn't want to ask Nate this question because he played in Vancouver. What do you make of teams like Vancouver this season that were just ridiculous on offense but not so great on defense? You can't put that on like legend setting or anything, right? You have to say, was it personnel? Is it just scheduling? I mean, how do you break something like that down when you've got other teams, like for example, like a Denver, great on offense and defense, Fort Worth, number 1 defense and good on offense. What's the disparity there? What's the difference?
I mean, that could come down to coaching, obviously like Fort Worth is just a really great built team. I mean, their team's just great. Denver, obviously, I mean, Vega was, just a like a APF whisper, I swear. When it comes to Vancouver though, I mean, their offense is so good. I mean, when you had
so good, it really
so
is.
good. When you had Kendra Hall, I mean, Robert Redford hasn't even been mentioned in this conversation. He had a phenomenal year.
Yep.
Tom Pepper actually didn't throw a bunch of picks, But to me, there you go, Eddie. The defense, I don't know. I think it's coaching. I think that's all it is. And I hate to say that. I'm not trying to be.
Well, yeah, because we know Andy's a good coach. Obviously he can coach an incredible
he obviously
offense.
is because he coaches a very good offense. But
and they were in the Final Four this season.
Exactly, they were in a Final Four. They were in a Final Four last season, right? I think.
I think they were Elite 8 last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Elite 8. Okay. So regardless, they've been in the playoffs. They've been a playoff team, but it's just defense will win you championships. Go ask Denver. Go ask Florida. You got to have a defense. And
you just made Eddie Gage's night, right?
Well, I know, but I mean it's the truth. I mean, because here's the thing. I mean, I'm just going to use my example. London, for example. I mean, I'm trying to build a championship defense. Defense wins championships. Offense will win you ball games, but defense will win you championships. And that's the goal here. And I think that's why Vancouver can't get over that hump, is because of that.
Okay.
I mean, Baltimore built their defense last season, and look what they did. They won a damn championship. So defense.
Okay. Moving on to the second part of my question to you. I don't remember what it was, but Eddie said something to what you said, and you said I didn't let you finish or something because we had to get yeah. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. DR Sim, you are so right. It blew my mind how great Eddie's offense was and how poor Arizona's defense was. Eddie totally flipped the script on everybody this season.
Hey, I said this in the preseason that Arizona already has a fucking good defense anyway. And if Eddie can figure out the offense, that team is going to be scary as shit.
Now he's got to put it together next season. He's got to put them both, right? This season it was all offense.
This season, I mean, I can see that. But he had a couple rookies in there too. I mean, Vernar Smith and Max Knight. I mean, you had those players, but he'll get it figured out. But
okay, do you remember what it was that he was giving you crap about and that I didn't let you finish?
No, I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
All right,
I mean,
put your Chad Rowland bow on season 16 then, and then we'll move on to Mike.
Yeah, I mean, to me, God, Eddie, you keep doing it every time.
To me.
He loves it. I'd say it too much, I swear to fucking God. But, I mean, season 16 I've been here since week 2 of season 13. I came in as a non-contract in Baltimore. This has been the most competitive I think I've seen the SFL, hands down. And I've tried to go back and watch the past ones too, like even before I got here. This has just been so competitive. And each and every team is going to get better. I mean, these coaching staffs are going to get better. One of the surprising things was Arizona, and it's funny because Mike St. Green, bastard, he brought up Donnie Hands. I was actually going to say Donnie Hands for Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, Arizona's not the team they are without Donnie Hands. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Sorry, Eddie, but that's just how it is. But I do want to I got to stick up for London a little bit. I think that the comeback player of the year, I think in my mind, is Angus Mclean. Obviously throwing all those picks, the past season, and then, coming back and having a better season under me. So I think, in my mind, he's the comeback player of the year. Defensive player of the year, I agree. Troy Loshaw, just a phenomenal player ever since he's come back into the league. Coaching staff of the year, I got to give it to DC. I mean, Eddie's right there behind him, but DC with what they've done, coaching staff of the year, hands down. I mean, yes, they won 3 games, but they were tough, man. And they were just so tough. And in Florida, Max, once again, just proving to everybody that, he's had the top 5, I think he's told me top 5 defense, 9 seasons in a row or however long it's been.
Right.
Something absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like I said, each and every team is just going to be better and better next season. I can't wait to watch season 17, and I can't wait for everybody to see what the London Knights are going to put on the field. So,
wow, there you
There
go. Twin Screw, we're going to give you the last word. But before you put your Mike Twin Screw bow on this, I do want to ask you one question. There's a couple teams that we didn't really talk about. One in particular that I think we should have talked about more, and we didn't. But I'm going to ask you about 3 teams right now. We didn't talk about Fort Worth very much. Fort Worth led our division almost from gate to gate. They had just an incredible, phenomenal defense all season. They got that offense clicking in the second half of the season. They just had a phenomenal year, and they in season 15, I think they were the first team out of the playoffs. So going from out of the playoffs to a higher seed in the playoffs, and they just missed. I think if they beat us that last game of the season, they get a bye. So they only missed a bye by 1 game. That's how great of a season they had. Mexico City, we seem to write them off almost every preseason, and yet they're always competitive. Ramos knows what he's doing over there. They finished second in what I consider the toughest division, that South Tex-Mex division. But then the third team I want to ask you about is, how about that Portland team? To me, Portland looks like next season's Fort Worth. Do you agree or disagree? And give me your kind of take on those 3 teams.
So the take on the 3 teams, I'll sum it all up together. Right? Is coaching and figuring out how to use the ability of your players and their builds, and doing what you want the other team to do as far as offense goes, right? So that's kind of what all three of those teams did all season long. They had great seasons, regardless of the record. They still had some great seasons. Talk about like Mexico City there. But as far as Portland, my guys up in Portland, I got a bunch of great guys up there that I was on Madison with. Those guys, I think, are definitely next year's Fort Worth without a doubt.
Put the Mike twin screw bow on season 16 for us.
So we talked about, the playbooks and legend and offense and defense and things like that, but not much what we brought up so far, at least in this show, is special teams. How about Gabriel Manning with 1,900 return yards? My man Doug Britton with almost 1,900 return yards and 2 touchdowns. Dustin Zeck, Giovanni Bolt. These guys put their teams in awesome positions to start out every week with just their yardage. I mean, hell, Gabriel had more return yards than I got in 2 seasons of receiving. So, counting the minor league season, 3 seasons. So, the guy is just a beast, and these guys that are on special teams and returning are putting their teams in the best position possible.
I agree with everything all of you said. By the way, Benji Matson just put in the chat, only thing bad about season 16 is that it's over. But Benji, just imagine how incredible season 17 is going to be. Both MSG and Damon in the chat basically saying if Portland can figure out their quarterback situation, the rest of the pieces are there, and they're going to be, and Eddie Gage jumping in there too. They seem to be like a veteran quarterback away from being like you said, next season's Fort Worth. I want to go out on a note and being a little bit of a homer. I know we get a lot of Lone Star love on this show already, and I take a little flack about it, but I'm going to give some more Lone Star love right now. We've talked a lot about these potential MVPs and offensive players of the year and all that, and with all due respect to Peppers and Redford and McChesney and all those guys, I got to tell you, let me tell you, there's a quarterback in Lone Star that was first in the league in passing touchdowns, third best in QBR, third least yards lost, so we're talking sacks and making bad decisions, fourth highest completion percentage in the entire SFL, the fourth least interceptions, the fourth least sacked quarterback, and he had the fifth most passing yards. And he took our team to the Elite 8. I wish he had a football in his hand right now. He could throw it to the side of Chad Rowland's head. But I got to tell you, I got to throw my boy. I got to throw my buddy out there. Yes, Damon, you know what's up. And if you were a guest on this show, you'd be hyping up your Houston team. Get out of here. Eddie Gage, most of that is a part of the week south. Oh, get the hell out. Eddie, I take back everything I said about Arizona tonight right now. Ha, ha, ha. All right. Hey, Damon, you better tell Eddie what's up about that South Division. I mean, we were literally, one game away from having the entire division in the playoffs. So just saying. All right. Anyway, just want to let you know. And just for the record, Ace did all that against teams like Fort Worth and Mexico City and Houston and Jacksonville and Florida. Those were all on our schedule this season. So just want to let you know there's a pretty good quarterback in Lone Star when the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year and all that come out. I guess it's next week or the week after when Cam puts all that out. So just wanted to throw that out there and put my tiny little bow on season 16 as we wrap up this show right now. My bow is this. This was an epic season. It began with, the divisions. It began with some new teams. It started off with old teams doing well and some, new teams, old teams doing well, new teams doing pretty well, some old teams not doing well. Like, it was all over the map. And I think that's what was the best thing about season 16 is how crazy it was, how unpredictable it was, how competitive it was. And I got to tell you, I want to throw out one other I don't know. It's not for the glory, so I'm not being a homer, but it's for the show. Jack's data does a hell of a job with these spreads and these over-unders. And how many times did you hear me on a show saying he got it within just a couple points, or that's pretty much a wash and all that. And to do it in a season that was as competitive as it was, and week to week, game to game, not knowing who was going to win, looking at pick'ems, looking at 3-point spreads and all that. Big, huge props to Hunter Norwood and Jack's Data over there for their spread. So in this very unpredictable competitive season, I think they did a hell of a job. So I want to shout them out as well. I also want to shout out everybody who was part of the Sweet 16. If you were a panelist, if you were a mystery panelist, if you just came on the show as a guest, if you came on after dark, if you're just a regular in the chat, whatever it is, I appreciate all of you being in here. We did a lot of shows this season. Season 16 was a lot of shows. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate all the love and all the support for the show. I can't wait for season 17. I think season 17, based on what we talked about tonight, will be even more competitive and even more unpredictable than season 16 was. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to thank all the owners, all the coaches, all the players, all the people who make this make the SFL what it is. All the people working in the front office, like Mike All brought up tonight. Those are the unsung heroes of the SFL. Those are the people doing the stats and doing your progressions and taking care of the website and doing all the things that we just, on this end, that we take for granted. So I want to throw a shout out and a thank you to them. And then, of course, to Cam himself. Him and Andrew, they make this thing go. They make this thing work. If there's no Cam and there's no Andrew, there's no SFL. So huge props to those guys as well. So from top to the bottom, left to right, front to back, everybody that's included, big, huge props and thank yous to everybody that made season 16. What I think, and again, I've only been here 3.5 seasons, but I think since I've been here, definitely the best season of the SFL I've seen so far. So I want to thank Frank the Franchise Wade. I want to thank Nate Hall, Chad Rowland, Mike Twinscrew, Mike That Is All is filling in for Gunny. I want to thank Tyler for coming on, Kramer Jackman, and is that everybody? Did I forget anybody? Anybody else have to bounce? I think that's it. I want to thank everybody for being on the show tonight. That's season 16. It's a wrap. Starting next week, next Thursday. Remember, there is no show on Tuesday. I'll throw that on real quick. No show on Tuesday, May 18th. We'll be back 1 week from tonight, Thursday, May 20th, with episode 95, which will concentrate on off-season stuff. We're going to talk about teams that have a lot, we're talking about free agents. We're talking about retirees. We're going to talking about draft picks. We're going to be talking about positional rankings. We're going to be talking about SFL minor league games. Just because it's the off season doesn't mean we stop working. We got a lot to talk about and we got a lot to do. So thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate each and every one of you. And I usually say we'll see you in like 48 hours, a few days, but now it's going to be a whole week. It'll be nice to have a little time off. So we will see you next Thursday right here at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch when we see you at the Tees.